What's going on? It's your boy Mixed to be here live from the MMB Radio Studios for the MMB Radio Podcast, where no topic is too big or too small. We talk about them all, and what you're hearing right now is Heaven's Got a Back Door by Dead Sarah. It's the official theme song for WWE Extreme Rules. It's available now on iTunes and Spotify. WWE Extreme Rules is this Sunday live on the WWE Network. But before we get into talking about the WWE Network, tonight we have the MMB Radio Podcast, WWE Extreme Rules Prediction Show. And it's something different we've never done before. A little different concept that we do here on MMB Radio. We've never really done a prediction show, never really done a wrestling podcast. So tonight's going to be a first for everybody. But before we get involved and do any of that, we have to welcome in our guest for tonight for the MMB Radio Podcast. She is a 12-time MILF of the Year award winner. She's been nominated for 4 2018 XBiz Awards, and she's also been nominated for 6 awards at the AVN Awards in 2018. She's won Best MILF Performer and Triple Play Award for Excellence in multiple fields at the 2017 Night Movies Awards. She has a huge pop Funko collection, and she's a huge WWE fan. I want to welcome her in right now, Miss Tanya Tate. Wow, I mean, you have done it all. So people that are listening to the podcast are probably saying, you know, why wrestling? But you are a huge WWE wrestling fan, right?
Yes, exactly. You know, I've been to a lot of the live events. I always like it when they come to LA because I'm like, can I go? Can I get tickets? Can I go and watch them? So that's definitely exciting. And yeah, I like to collect WWE memorabilia as well. So I've got a lot of Funko Pops. So I'm sure most people listening must know what Funko Pops are if they're a WWE fan. But they're like little stylized vinyl figures. And I've got a lot of them. I you know, before I got on, I thought I'm going to find out which ones that I need. I've still got to work it out. Every time a new WWE Funko Pops come out, I try and get it, you know. And sometimes we have like the different variants and different paints and different exclusives. So it's kind of cool. So, I'm actually a very proud owner of some WWE championship belts. One of them actually, is signed by Natalia.
Really?
Yeah. And it was actually a gift, from one of my fans, a fan called John Cox. He's a mutual, fan of myself and Natalia. And he brought me the belt and, He gave it to me as a gift at one of I think it was at the AVN show in Las Vegas. So I was all excited. And then he followed it up with the newer Women's Championship belt, the gold and red one.
That's
so
very
I've got
awesome.
2 belts. Yay!
You got one more belt than I do. I only got 1 belt. So, I mean, you're ahead of me right now. But, I mean, most people who know of you know you from the adult world and are probably shocked right now that know that you actually follow, you know, WWE and are a huge WWE fan. So when you proposed the idea that we should do a prediction show, I was like, you know what, this is going to be fun. I want to pick your brain. Yeah. I want to see what you think of what's going to happen this Sunday at WWE Extreme Rules. So we're going to go through some of the matches and kind of get your feedback on some of the matches and see, you know, what you think of each, you know, storyline and what, you know, like what is going on. So currently looking at the card, there's 11 matches this Sunday. And, you know, now they've been doing co-branded pay-per-views. They get a little longer, so it's a lot to sit through. And there's some really good matches on this card. But what, out of the whole card, what is the one match that you are looking forward to seeing the most?
You know, probably the match of the night, I reckon it's going to be the WWE Intercontinental Championship, Dolph Ziggler versus Seth Rollins. So, this is going to be exciting. The 30-man Iron match. I'm like, yeah, 30 minutes of just watching these two like strong guys.
Yeah, two of the best performers, you know, currently in the WWE. Dolph Ziggler being around for, you know, quite a while, and you know, Seth Rollins has been, you know, around the world, and so this should be a good match. A lot of high spots in it, and I mean, I guess you're looking out for, a lot of the eye candy too, which is, I'm going to be looking forward to the women's matches, for that stuff. But
well, I have to say the eye candy in that match for me is if we were doing it on eye candy, it'd have to be Dolph.
Okay.
Because it's for me, it's kind of like I don't know, Seth Rollins, yeah, but Dolph is more eye candy to me. And plus, I've met Dolph, so when sometimes when you meet people and you say, oh, actually they're really cool guys, and then you're standing next to them and they're like, ooh, you've got a nice body.
I'm sure he's seen your videos as well. I'm sure he's very familiar with who Tanya Tate is.
I'm sure he has.
So, and then you got to factor in the Drew McIntyre aspect of the match. A match last night, if McIntyre had won, he would still be allowed ringside for this 30-minute Iron Man match. So, what is your prediction? What do you think is going to happen with this?
I think Seth Rollins is going to take this. I think it's going to be him. Yeah, I don't want it to be, but I think they're going to let Seth just come in and he's going to have the most at the end of the 30 minutes.
Okay.
What about you? What do you think?
So I'm thinking to kind of prolong the storyline, you kind of have to have Seth win. A 30-minute Iron Man match, it's a lot of adrenaline, pumping, and you got to get through whole 30 minutes of it, and whoever comes out with the most victories, obviously, is the winner. But with that being said, you have to prolong the storyline somehow. If Dolph were to come out there and win it, then where do you go from there? I'm predicting Rollins winning, as much as, I like Ziggler and I love that they're, putting a belt on him and give him a title again. And I love the momentum that him and McIntyre are having. I just don't see where it helps anybody by having Rollins lose. It's just, you kind of have to let him keep that storyline going and setting up a possible rematch afterwards. But I like it. I like that they're, they got, Ziggler in the picture, and it gives Rollins something to kind of keep fighting and defending the belt for. So I'm definitely going for Rollins. So we're in agreement there. Both have Seth Rollins winning that. So, looking at the other rest of the card here, I'll just go down the line here. I'm looking at it. So, a tables match that's going to kick off the pay-per-view on the kickoff show is the New Day versus Sanity. So, what is your take on Sanity and the New Day?
It's got to be the New Day for me. I just love them as a team. They've had a really great record. They've been champions many times. For me, they're like a well-oiled machine, and they work together really smoothly as a tag team. So the other dudes, the other dudes don't do for me, Sanity. So no. I've got to say New Day. New Day, definitely. And also, we've got the bit of the Big E, and I like when he does his little gyrating. And, if a guy's going to get in the ring and do some gyrating, I'm like, back to the eye candy.
Yeah. So whoever brings the best eye candy in every match is going to get a little bit of more edge in your book.
Well, for me, it's more pleasing to watch,
I can't disagree with that. I have to say that, when I'm watching Raw or SmackDown, I do seem to pay a little bit more attention when the women's matches are on. Sometimes.
Well, I like women as well, so.
Yeah, then you can stand 3 hours of Raw. 3 hours of Raw for me sometimes, is just like the attention span. Sometimes I lose it there. But as far as my prediction for this match, the tables match, I actually have Sanity winning. And the reason being is they're the new kids on the block there. They've been called up to the main roster from NXT. And I feel like that in order for them to, be anything, they have to win this match. It doesn't benefit them by losing the match, because then it's why bring them up. Now, that's not to say that that's not WWE's thinking or thought process, because I mean, you see over on the Raw side, you had Authors of Pain come up from NXT, and what have they really done? You know, so it's not unusual for, you know, a team to get caught up to the main roster and kind of get lost in a transition, or, you know, not have any kind of splash being made. But I think that, you know, the New Day is, as you mentioned, is hugely successful, runs like a well-oiled machine. They've been there. They've done that. You know, they're going to continuously have that crowd behind them. They're still going to sell bootios. They're still going to sell T-shirts, fling pancakes at each other. Saturday needs this win. They need this win to kind of, you know, set them as a legit threat on the main roster. So I'm going with Sanity in that.
Okay.
We can agree to disagree on that one. So we agree on the first match, and the second one we're
I have to say though, it's like funny when I do my predictions, I don't always get them right, I have to say.
Well, you know, that's the great thing about it is that you never know. I mean, sometimes you think the obvious, and then other times it's like, you know, why wasn't that being done? Or, you know, why did they go with this route? And I tend to, when I make my predictions, I'm thinking long term. Because you'll hear in my answers tonight, you'll hear where I'm thinking, well, what's this mean for SummerSlam? What does this mean going forward, you know, 6 months from now? I'm always thinking long term, like, you know, if Sanity were to lose this match, okay, well then, who's afraid of Sanity? You know, it's just like the Bludgeon Brothers when they came onto the scene. You know, they made a huge impact right away. And now, you know, they're the SmackDown Tag Team Champions. You know, the Bludgeon Brothers came out and not made an impact, would we be seeing them on main event? You know, so I feel like for Sanity to have any kind of momentum going forward, they have to win this match.
Yeah. It's like they come up and you got to do something with them. But then I always feel sad then when the guys that I'm rooting for, and I'm like, they're just getting tossed to the side, you know?
They get paid very well to be tossed to the side.
I hope that's true. I hope they get paid very well. It's like, you know, when you think about it, the force and the things that happen to those guys' bodies just pounded. And it's funny because, you know, I post up, you know, I'm watching WWE, whatever, and then you get the stupid trolls, oh, it's not real. And I'm like, tell you what, why don't you get in the ring with one of those, like, 6'6" guys, and let's see how many, like, pretend beatings that you can take.
Yeah, let's see Big E gyrate on you and see, you know, if it feels good, you know.
Yeah, just, you know, tell me how real it feels after. Tell me, get up and tell me you've not got one ache in your body and you've not got one bruise. I'm just like, come on.
Well, I tend to just tune out people like that who, you know, have negativity to say about, you know, pro wrestling. You know, obviously it's something that, you know, I'm passionate about, you're passionate about, and hopefully everybody that's listening right now is very passionate about WWE and pro wrestling. And I welcome everybody tonight afterwards to leave comments on the website, to leave comments on Twitter, and you know, the trolls that are out there. That's fine. It doesn't bother me. You can sit there and tell me, you know, this is fake, that's fake, whatever. I want to know what you guys think. The people out there that are true fans, make sure you send me tweets at MixmasterB, at MMB Radio, and on MixmasterB.com. Let me know what you think about all of our predictions, and if you agree or disagree with what we're thinking.
Hold on, you got to include me in this as well. I'm part of the conversation at Tanya Tate.
Yes, at Tanya Tate. I didn't want to welcome trolls and flooding of tweets
to
you.
Trolls. Do you know, if I get trolls, I normally just block them.
Yeah.
If you say one thing and it's like, oh, it's really nasty, just joking, I'm just like, nah, block.
Yeah.
If you say anything nasty, I don't give second chances. You know.
Well, I anticipate that you get more tweets than I do, so I'm welcoming it because I would love to talk to fans. I'm sure you probably get flooded with tweets all day, so, but yeah, at Tanya Tate, definitely let Tanya know what you think of that. You know, what your predictions are for WWE Extreme Rules. Again, it's a Sunday live on the WWE Network, and as we're going through all these different matches, the next match that I want to talk about is since we got to talk about your little eye candy for a while there, let's talk about Alexa Bliss versus Nia Jax. It's an Extreme Rules match for the Raw Women's Championship, and Ronda Rousey will be sitting ringside as she is, currently suspended from Monday Night Raw. What is your thought process on this match?
No, I think this is going to be a good one. Extreme Rules with Alexa Bliss.
Anything goes.
It's definitely anything goes. I reckon that this is definitely a must-see match. She's been like this little awesome type of villain, and she's like 5 foot of fury, and she she really is furious. But I just putting Alexa up against Nia Jax. Nia Jax, all that power, and let's be realistic. If Nia Jax pinned me, she sat on me, I don't think I'd be able to get up. She is powerful. She has got, there's a lot of Nia Jax behind Nia Jax. And it's, I think Alexa's really going to have to, she's going to give it a good go. Extreme Rules. I'm excited to see chairs, sticks, whatever's going to be pulled out. But I don't think it's going to be so clean. She always has something up her sleeve, doesn't she? There's always something dirty. So, maybe with Ronda sitting ringside, maybe Ronda's going to come in and interfere some way.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
I definitely have Ronda getting involved in some capacity.
Yes. Yeah. Because, Ronda, they're going to want to put Ronda up for SummerSlam, I think, and I think this is going to be the way that Ronda's going to get to be there. And I just think with Ronda's help, Alexa's not going to be able to win this by herself. So I think with Ronda's help, I reckon Alexa's is going to win.
I totally agree with you on that. I feel Ronda has to get involved in this match. I mean, to have her sitting ringside, to be that close, and to have that much energy and hatred that she had for Alexa prior to the suspension, to have her just sit there and not do anything and be quiet kind of defeats the purpose of hyping all this up. And I agree with what you say about them. I think it's going to end up being Alexa and Ronda at SummerSlam. Unfortunately for Nia, I've met Nia. Nia is a sweetheart of a person. Yes, she is big. She is strong. She is intimidating.
Yeah.
However, I kind of feel like she's kind of gotten a raw deal, no pun intended, kind of gotten a raw deal as the champion. I mean, she won at WrestleMania, which I think shocked a lot of people because Alexa had so much momentum going into that match. But then once, Ronda came aboard, it was kind of like they kind of forgot about Nia a little bit. I think they put all the focus on Alexa because she has been there. She's carried the title. She's done it before. So you're going to have her go up against Ronda Rousey. As far as the Extreme Rules aspect of the match, you got to play the factors of, you do have Natalya, who is friends with Nia. You do have Mickie James, who's friends with Alexa. So I anticipate seeing a lot of chaos going on at ringside. And around the arena because it is an Extreme Rules match. So anything can happen. It could be, in the stands, it could be at the concession stand. So I am anticipating anything and everything to happen during this match. But ultimately, I have Alexa pulling it out somehow. Like you mentioned, you brought up a great point.
Yeah.
That she always seems to find a way to win. Whether it's fairly or not, she always seems to come out somehow on top. So I have Alexa Bliss winning that. Right, and I love the eye candy aspect, so, that works for me.
Yeah, well, they're going to have a lot of the others kind of running in, being around. I mean, Natalya for me is some nice eye candy, I have to say. You're
a huge fan of Natalya,
just put it out there. I know it's supposed to be predictions, but it's somehow it's suddenly become who's Tanya's eye candy as well.
So we should go through every match. Again, the eye candy factor plays a huge role in who we think is going to win these matches. So, no, I mean, I'm totally on board with that. I could sit here and look at Alexa, I can, 5 Feet of Fury, I can sit there and watch her all night, you know, and you know, shout out to these girls that they take bumps like just as hard as some of the guys do. And for these people out there, the naysayers and the trolls that are talking about it being fake, and you know, hey, these girls are going out there that can take bumps probably better than some of these guys out there who are bitching and complaining online. So, you know, shout out to them for being able to take those kind of hits.
Yeah, exactly. Do you know, their bodies, they must have like legs of bruises. I remember when I used to kind of practice on the pole. I used to have a pole and live in the middle of my living room, like a lap dancing pole. And I'll tell you, sometimes the bruises you get on your legs or your thighs just from using the pole.
Pole burns can hurt.
Oh, yeah. So you can just imagine that's just from your own body pushing against the pole. So imagine if someone's throwing a pole, whacking a pole against you. You know, it's like they must go through some bruises. A lot of arnica cream. Yeah,
I don't have any experience, you know, twirling around the pole, nor do I have any experience in a ring. But I can say, you know what, I don't want to try that pain. I don't. You know, I will gladly just sit comfortably in my living room watching on the WWE Network for $9.99. So
exactly.
So moving along, looking at some of these other matches. So we've already gone through the New Day match, the Alexa Bliss and Nia Jax match. A match that I am really excited about because I feel like it can be a really good singles match is Jeff Hardy versus Shinsuke Nakamura for the United States Championship. To my knowledge, this should be the first time that they're battling for a title. I know they've had a singles match on SmackDown. I can't recall if that was for a U.S. Open Challenge match or not. Could be wrong. But I do think that this could be a really good match. Both these guys, you know, do some crazy off-the-wall shit that I've never seen anybody do in a ring before. Where are you going with this?
You know, Jeff Hardy, he's got a lot of the great moves. You know, he's up and he's about, and but Shinsuke, I like his entrance music. He comes in, he's there, he's getting it all going, he's getting his energy put into it, and I think they've both got a lot of great moves. But I don't know, I just think that Shinsuke is going to take this one. I think that he is going to win it.
So do I. I have Shinsuke winning it. I feel like he had a good little feud there with AJ Styles, as they're currently battling on SmackDown Live right now, as we're watching it in the monitors here in the studio. The feud that him and AJ Styles had from WrestleMania and just all the matches that they had proves to me that, you know, he's worthy of putting a title on him. Not that I needed much convincing, because just seeing his work in New Japan Pro Wrestling and just everywhere else around the world that Shinsuke has performed, proved to me he was already championship worthy. However, I feel like, that could set up a really good feud with him and Jeff Hardy. You know, if they go back and forth exchanging the title, I'm okay with that. You know, I'm kind of one of these guys. I'm kind of a traditionalist where I like to see someone hold the title for quite a while. You know, I hate seeing people, you know, not hold the title like Brock Lesnar hold the title forever. But I like to see, you know, I don't want to see it changed every week, you know, a different title holder, but I would be okay with these guys going back and forth, and just kind of just showing out, you know, what they can do. And kind of making it like the obviously the SmackDown version, you know, of the Intercontinental title. You know, it's a secondary title on the blue brand, and I think it would be really cool to see that title have a lot of more, you know, prestige than what it probably gets right now. So I'm going with Shinsuke Nakamura on that. So I'm not even keeping score here. I should be keeping score. I know we were both in agreement with
Alexa Bliss.
Yes, Alexa Bliss and the Dolph Ziggler. We're thinking Seth Rollins is going to win that one.
Seth Rollins, yeah.
So,
Shinsuke. We had a difference of opinion so far on New Day versus Sanity.
Yes, New Day versus Sanity. So that's so far. I mean, we are pretty much, you know, So I hate to be sitting here distracted now. I'm watching this SmackDown match and watching Jeff Hardy getting involved in this AJ Styles Shinsuke Nakamura match, and Rusev now getting involved in a ring. So I guess that's a nice little transition here. We'll talk about that match. So AJ Styles championship match against Rusev. What are you thinking about that?
Do you know, I really like Rusev. I think that he's got a lot of power. When I look at him, I think he's just like some square block, and it's like trying to push past him. It looks like it's going to be hard. But I think with AJ Styles, I think he has all the moves. He seems to have more skilled moves. So for me, I would be putting AJ Styles. I think he's going to win that match.
I do like seeing AJ Styles win. I do think that he's going to pull out this match. However, I love the fact that WWE is giving Rusev this little bit of a push. He's obviously over right now with the crowd with the whole Rusev Day and the comic role. But Rusev, I mean, the dude is like a legit badass. I mean, if you look at the guy, like you said, he is built. The guy is strong, you know, and he can be a really big heel for WWE. My concerns is that because he's gotten over so well right now as a comic role, can he transition into that heel character? And will the fans, you know, treat him as a heel? One of the biggest struggles I feel wrestlers have is if you are being designated as a face or you're being designated as a heel, being able to play that role and, you know, still get over. I mean, you look at Roman Reigns, here's a guy who obviously WWE wants to make him a face, but he doesn't get cheered as a face. So with Rusev, I'm kind of concerned with that, is that, you know, he could be a legit badass, and I would love to see Rusev, you know, hold the title. You know, I'm all for WWE putting the title on somebody that you wouldn't expect to hold it, and seeing what they can do with it. Last year, Jinder Mahal got a whole lot of heat because, you know, he was WWE champion, and they're like, oh, this guy was jobbing, and he was, you know, part of the three-man band, and he was in a comic role, and now he's WWE champion. I'm curious if the same reaction would happen with Rusev, because he's over so much right now as a comic that if you put him in the title picture and put a belt on him, would he be, you know, still looked at as a legit champion, or would he kind of just be hated on because, you know, they put a belt on him? I don't know. But either way, I have AJ Styles winning. But what are your thoughts on that? Do you think, what do you think of them giving Rusev a push right now?
Do you know, I do like Rusev, and of course, I can be Lana when Lana is part of the Rusev gang. I'm definitely, you know, I like to watch it. And Rusev, sometimes I think, you know, he needs to have a bit more, a bit more push. The WWE team, sometimes I don't think they push the people enough, or they push people down our faces that we don't really want to be pushed. You know, Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know if Rusev would win it. You know, people do. Well, I like Rusev. I don't know if people in general, whether they would, how they would react if he was given the belt and then he was turned into more of a heel. I think he could carry it off, but it'd be a bit more of a transition period, I expect, to move into it.
No, I agree. I mean, like I said, I would love to see him have a successful run with the title. I'm just concerned of how serious people would take him with the belt. It's very hard when you go, like I said, into that comic role and then go back into a serious role. And some people are able to do it. I mean, I can't think of anyone off the top of my head right now who, you know, who's been successful in doing stuff like that. I guess taking it way back, seeing like a Triple H like in DX, you know, where these guys were doing, you know, comic and, you know, funny stuff. And then, you know, now Triple H, you know, is who he is. I know that's leaps and bounds in distance between him and Rusev, but I can't think of anybody who was like a comic character who came in and became, was taken seriously by the fans. I said they tried it with Jinder Mahal, and I love Jinder Mahal as a WWE champion. I like that, it was something different. It wasn't the same old. We'll see.
I was actually happy when Jinder got the title. I was like, this is good.
It's different.
Yeah, it's not just, it's not the expected,
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it's like, we all know, it's like, oh, it's going to happen, we're expecting it, and suddenly something else happens, and you're like, whoa, oh. And then I kind of like the way that Jinder played it out, and like, and then, the Singh brothers, and that, I was quite entertained by it.
Yeah,
I know a lot of people weren't too happy, but it entertains me.
But it's, and that's the whole thing, and it's cool to see, when you put the belt, what can this person do? Obviously WWE can make and create a character, but it's up to that person once you have that character to kind of like take it to the next level. And one of the things I always like saying is when some of these athletes, they leave and go to another, federation or another, promotion or something, and how big of a star to become. You look at someone like Cody Rhodes right now, who is just, doing so much stuff on the indie scene. But when he was in WWE, he wasn't the top guy in WWE. It's just interesting to see how somebody could be, a mid-card guy in WWE, and then when you put him in another, promotion, they could be so much more, So I always love seeing different talent, see what else they can do once you put them in a serious role. But so we both agree on it.
It was nice. It was nice to have him back as well, Jinder. When he was out. But
yeah, he was gone for a while. Then he came back, and like I said, it was maybe that. Sometimes you got to remember too. Some of these wrestling fans have short memories. Some of them have really good memories. And some of them don't remember a lot of the stuff that he did. With 3MB like I said, with Rusev, I would love to see, something more come of it, and hopefully it's not just a one and done title match with AJ.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but we're definitely both in agreement for AJ.
He's right now. AJ is, and they mentioned it on SmackDown. He's currently the longest reigning champion by combined years in the last 5 years. So, he's I think they're priding themselves on that, is that he has the championship. He's the new face of, 2K19, WWE 2K19, the video game. So he's the cover boy for that. So I don't see him losing the title anytime soon, although it would be cool to see, Rusev hold the title. So, but we also were talking a little bit there about, the Roman Reigns factor. So let's talk about that match. Roman Reigns versus Bobby Lashley in a singles match. What is your take on this? Are you a fan of Roman? Are you not a fan of Roman? Or are you in the middle? What is your thoughts on Roman?
It's funny with Roman, he comes on and everyone boos, and I've been in the audience when he's come on, live in the audience, and the boos are so loud. But then when you watch it back on the TV, the boos are muted. They're not as loud. And I'm like, really? That wasn't how it was. So I think, the authority try and, hide a lot of the fan negativity towards them. But, there's been a lot of build up to the fight. But sometimes when fights come on, you're just not really that invested in watching it. Maybe this is one of those fights because I just don't think they're going to let Roman lose. So I reckon most likely he's going to win. So I'm just like, if Roman come on and he was doing his thing and he, was going and fighting his matches, I don't think I would dislike him as much. But seeing that they're always pushing him and it's always pushing and it's always pushing him to win, and it's like sometimes it's like it's just too much thrown down your face, and it makes you not like the character as much. How do you feel about him?
I feel what you're saying is the sentiment of 99.9% of the WWE universe, that people are, over this Roman experiment of getting him over with the fans. All right, my feeling is I'm not a Roman Reigns hater, so anybody that's listening, please, you can feel to tweet me and, send me messages. I'm not a Roman Reigns hater. I don't hate Roman Reigns. However, Roman Reigns doesn't get a reaction out of me. I don't feel excited. I don't feel, upset. I just feel like, when I see him, I'm just like, I just sigh and I'm just like, this again? And it's just like, I don't know if it's just a stubbornness on the WWE's part where they just do not want to give up on this. I think right now they're trying to cash in on this whole Lesnar situation where, they have Roman coming out every week and he is telling the WWE universe that, hey, Roman Reigns doesn't care about you. Brock Lesnar doesn't care about you. He's never here. He never defends the title, yada, 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 in hopes that the fans will say, you know what, Roman, you're right. I like you. And screw you, Brock Lesnar. And the fans are really like, yeah, we get it. Like, Lesnar sucks. He's never here. But just because he's here doesn't mean I'm going to like you. I think right now, seeing what happened at UFC 226, where Lesnar obviously got involved in that, seeing a mention of it on WWE.com is something that is surprising to me, because if you would have looked at this, the first go-round when he left and came back, I don't think WWE would have been making mentions on their website about Roman Reigns in the UFC, especially when you think about both of them are fighting right now for the contract of Brock Lesnar. I think Vince McMahon is trying to say, okay, well, I'm going to use this negative and I'm going to try to spin it into a positive, and this is how he's going to do it. I'm going to put on WWE.com. I'm going to put it on all of our social platforms. I'm going to talk about it on TV that, he's leaving, he's going back to UFC, to try to get the fans one last chance to be upset and pull for Roman. I don't see it happening. I don't care what Lesnar does. I don't care if he leaves and goes to UFC, stays with WWE. Either way, I'm not going to be on board with this Roman Reigns experiment. So to me, it's kind of like, they're marketing it as a big fight match. You got two big, strong dudes. But I just see it being like a clubbing match. I just see two guys that are just going to club the hell out of each other. And Roman's, coming out victorious. I still don't know what they're doing with this Braun Strowman with the Money in the Bank, but rumors are is that, it's going to be Reigns and Lesnar. And Reigns is going to take the belt off of Lesnar at SummerSlam. I could see that happening, and then having Braun cash in on Roman that night and win it and everybody leave the arena happy. I don't know. I just don't understand why they keep trying to push Roman on people when, it's obviously it's not happening.
Yeah. It feels like it should be, we've tried and we've tried and we've tried and we keep trying and it's just not working. So like you say, it sounds like there's someone stubborn standing in the back with the heels dug in. Like, nope, we're not giving up on him. Even if the crowd are just sighing, booing. Well, booing is a reaction, but I suppose sighing, like silence, it's just like when it's like, oh, time to go and get a drink. Time to use the restroom.
And it's a bathroom break time. And I always say to people, and unfortunately or fortunately, depending whose opinion is on it, Roman Reigns kind of has that John Cena type appeal. You're going to get the younger kids and you're going to get the women that are going to vote and cheer for him and say, I love him. If you really want to see a difference, the whole booing thing, it's like obviously that's not working. I always said, what would be really cool is if Roman came out and nobody said anything. Like it was complete silence, not a cheer, not a boo, just complete silence. If that doesn't, screw it up for you, then I don't know what else would. But, I don't know. I've met Roman. Roman's a cool guy. Just, geez,
yeah.
And Bobby Lashley, on the other hand, is not anything to be all cracked up about as well. I mean, I don't know. How do you feel about Bobby Lashley?
It's kind of quite new to me, so I know that he was around, and he's come back again, but I don't remember him from his earlier period. So I think I need a little bit of more warming up, so I can, sometimes when someone comes in, I like to watch them quite a few times before I can start to really get, whether I decide whether I like the character, whether I'm with the character, so I think I need a little bit more watching of him. Although his body is hot, he's got a lot of muscles in the right places. Like he's all like ripped, isn't he? Like, going back to the body. Remember when Jinder came back, Jinder Mahal? Where did his body come from? I was like, what the hell, this guy? And then the pictures of him like sweating with his like veins throbbing. I'm like, ooh. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely are watching these in more detail than I am. My problem with Bobby Lashley is it's painful to watch him cut a promo. Listening to him talk, his mic work. The guy been away from WWE for like 10 years, and he comes back, and he's done stuff in other promotions. And, he's worked with, Impact and TNA for a while, and he's done MMA, he's done all kinds of stuff. Nobody's ever pulled him aside and had him work on mic skills. Like, listening to him do trash talking is like, it sounds so robotic. And then it's just like, then you got him, and then it's just like, oh. And then you got Roman, and you're like, oh God. And it's just like, watching it's painful for me. So it's one of those matches that I think WWE wants to market as this big fight feel. Two big, big heavyweights. But I don't see much wrestling. Maybe they'll surprise the hell out of me. I would love that. Show me something different. But it's not a match that I'm, getting all excited about. I think that's a match that I'm kind of, going to be tweeting and replying back to people or, taking a bathroom break. Probably bathroom break for me in that one. Just, you don't want to get up at a different time because you're going to miss something really exciting. Yeah. But it's just like, as soon as it comes on, you can go and use the restroom, pot around a bit, check your social media, reply to a few tweets, get a drink, and then you'll hear the Roman Reigns music, and you're like, oh, okay, now moving on to the next match. Yeah, he won. So we're both in agreement. Roman's probably going to end up winning that one. So, moving on to the next match we got here, is the WWE SmackDown Women's Championship with Carmella versus Asuka. Everybody that knows me knows that I am smitten by Carmella, so, I'm a little biased in my pick here. Carmella can do no wrong. So I want to get your feelings on that right now because you know where I'm going to side with this. Yeah, exactly. Do you see, this is where your like starry eyes come in when you like, ooh, Carmella. Yes, she is currently on the screen now, getting ready, and I'm watching this, and I'm just like, yeah. Goodness. Oh, I bet you're not so happy with James Ellsworth then, because it's just like, you don't need to be watching James Ellsworth. You really don't. I mean, I kind of feel, like, and in all seriousness, I kind of feel like it's almost like a handicap by bringing him back into the picture. Because it's kind of like saying that, like, you don't believe that Carmella can do this by herself, like she needs James Ellsworth to get heat. I don't feel she needs James Ellsworth to get heat. I think that, she's fully capable of pissing people off on her own. I don't think she needs someone else there to, help her piss people off. But, what do you feel about James Ellsworth being back in the picture? I just think he's just there. He's just going to keep saving her again. Personally, I've been surprised that Carmella's been able to keep the belt this long. And I think, with James being back there, he's going to save Carmella again. And, I don't know. I think that she's just on borrowed time.
But at the same time, I still think that he's back, and she's got the WWE SmackDown Women's Championship, and she wants to keep the belt. And I think by having him there, I think he's definitely going to help her keep the belt, and he's going to save her again, like this little tiny knight in shining armor, although he's not got any armor on.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, for me personally, I think Asuka, she's got the move. She's hardcore. She goes in for it. You know, I think that she could definitely use the win. I think that she deserves the win, but I don't think it's going to be this time that she's going to get it. I think they're going to keep this one going. So I still think Carmella's going to win the belt. Well, I'm sorry, keep the belt. And she couldn't do it without James.
Okay. Here is my thought process on all this, and I'm taking out my bias and my love for Carmella when I say this. I think eventually she's going to have to lose the title. Eventually she's going to lose the title to Asuka. I don't believe it's going to be Sunday. It could be at SummerSlam. I think that's a bigger stage. There's no point in having her lose the belt to Asuka at Extreme Rules when you can market this big match for SummerSlam and have her, you know, win on a bigger stage. With that being said, the losses that Asuka has had to Carmella, whether they've been, you know, shady losses, clean losses, what have you, I think it helps kind of bring Asuka back down to a believable character. When she was going that undefeated streak for so long, it was almost like, who's going to beat her? And it took Charlotte Flair to beat her at WrestleMania for, you know, people to say, you know, wow, like Asuka is beatable. If she had kept that momentum, I think it would have gotten real stale real quick. You know, like it would have been almost too easy to predict, like, oh, she's going to win. But by having her lose some matches, it kind of makes her seem like she's kind of like, she's a normal person in a sense. Like she's capable of losing a match. So it doesn't make it so obvious when she goes into a match that she's going to win because she has lost before. With the James Ellsworth factor, again, I feel like he is going to help her in some way Sunday win this match. I don't believe he's, like I said, that he's needed. I feel Carmella's fully capable of, you know, generating the same heat without him. Is her in-ring skills that of Asuka's? No. There's not many women out there who can say they are on the same level as Asuka. So with that being said, comparing their, you know, their wrestling abilities is not really fair because there's not many people on Asuka's level, as far as in-ring skill goes. However, I'm very impressed with the way Carmella has, developed her character. I feel like she's pretty good on the microphone. I feel like she's, you know, she's kind of embraced this character as champion. But is she on borrowed time? Yeah, most likely Asuka, you know, is going to be the next champion. I just don't think it's going to be Sunday.
Yeah.
I can see something happening at SummerSlam with James getting involved and maybe James, you know, ruining it for her. You know, where she loses the belt because of James. But, yeah.
That would be a nice twist.
It would. I mean, I don't know how long WWE plans on keeping Ellsworth on the main roster. I mean, they got rid of him the first time and then they brought him back. And I don't know if, you know, that was like a test pattern for Carmella to say, okay, we're getting rid of James and you're on your own. Let's see what you can do on your own. And maybe the WWE brass was not as, you know, convinced that Carmella could, you know, generate heat and, you know, get over on her own. So they brought Ellsworth back into the picture. My only fear is that what is left for Carmella if indeed she were to lose the title to Asuka. Obviously there's a rematch, but then after that, what happens to Carmella? Does she fall back, you know, back in line to the point where she's not relevant anymore? Or, you know, I mean, you see some of these girls on the SmackDown Live roster who I mean, they speak for their own. I mean, you got a Becky Lynch's of the world who's going to be, she's just phenomenal in her own right. But there's a lot of girls that are just, look at Naomi after she lost. What have they really done with her? These are people that I believe are indeed a little bit more athletic than Carmella is. So if Carmella were to lose, what does that mean for her in the long term? So it'd be interesting to see what happens. But I see possible title change coming at SummerSlam and not so much at Extreme Rules.
Yeah, I'm agreeing.
As I'm watching, as James Ellsworth has just tapped out to Asuka in a battle of the sexes too that just happened, and Asuka's teeing off on Carmella right now in the ring. So I don't know if this is going to be a preview of what's going to happen Sunday, but that's currently what is happening on the monitors now as Ellsworth is attacking Asuka, and so looks like they just got the upper hand on her now. Now you're a little bit of delay, so you don't get your SmackDown is not on right now for you guys, is it?
No, I'm on the West Coast, so it's 3 hours different. So I don't normally get to sit down till 8 p.m. my time. By that time, you lot on the East Coast. So
I'm just giving spoilers right now in the middle of the podcast. Try not to do spoilers, but people will probably, if you're listening to this podcast, will probably have already watched SmackDown. So I will try not to let that distract me here. So looking at, we got a couple more matches here. So we've gone over the Roman Reigns and Bobby Lashley, Shinsuke and Jeff Hardy, Finn Balor and Baron Corbin. So what do you think of the new Constable Corbin that they've created?
Well, I have to say, Corbin, it's definitely a massive improvement on the hairstyle.
You think so?
Don't get me wrong. I do like some of the wrestlers that have got long hair, but sometimes some of the wrestlers that have got long hair, it's just when it's like long and greasy looking type of stringy. Mm-hmm. I'm like,
well, he had this balding thing going, so he kind of needed to cut it.
Do you know, in England we call that a comb over? Where they comb the hair across to just cover that baldy patch that just seems to keep going bigger and bigger.
He needed to cut it, but the full baldy, I don't know, he kind of looks like Charlie Brown now. I I just feel like he should have Snoopy walking around with him, I felt like he was a little bit more intimidating looking when he had longer hair, although, again, he needed to cut the hair. I don't know. The short hair just kind of looks weird on him to me. It hasn't fully grown on me. As far as the Constable character that they got going with him, I guess it's okay. I guess it gives him something to do. The lone wolf thing. I love the lone wolf character he had going, but I don't know. I really don't know where, what they're doing with him. I feel like this match with Finn Balor is just a squash match. Obviously, I feel Finn Balor is going to win. But I don't really know what their plans are, if they even have any plans for Baron Corbin. But I definitely see Finn Balor winning this one. What do you think?
Yeah, I do like Finn. Coming from England, and Liverpool in England specifically, which is very close to Ireland, we have a lot of Irish settlers that have settled in Liverpool, so there's a very big Irish influence. So of course, when I see the Irish wrestlers, I do have an extra soft spot for them. We all know my favourite wrestler, Sheamus. Mm-hmm. So, we've got another Irish fella, Finn. So I do like him. And I think he's proven that, he is a good wrestler and he's one of the best, wrestlers. He's got skills. I like him. I like watching him in the ring. Corbin, he's had his hair cut and the Constable and, possibly less annoying now. Didn't say not annoying anymore. Just less annoying. You know, at least I don't have to look at that stringy hair with the baldy patch going on in the middle of it. You know, that's one less annoying thing about watching him. You know.
Well, I've heard rumors, and you know, you hear things and you see stories online, and you never know what is true and what's not true. But a lot of it I heard is the reason why his push was kind of taken away from him is he's, you know, had some backstage issues, you know, politics issues. Again, we don't know if any of this is true. But I mean, here's a guy who won Money in the Bank, then lost his cash in, you know, won the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, you know, and it seems like he had all the upside, and now he's, you know, just kind of just floating there with, you know, no real, you know, development of what they plan on doing with him. So, again, maybe that is a result from, you know, backstage politics. I don't know how true that is, but I don't really know what they plan on doing with him. So I see this as a squash match. I see, you know, it being back and forth. I do see, you know, Corbin, obviously his size is going to get some, you know, physical moves in there. He's going to get some offense in there. But ultimately, I see Finn Balor winning and, you know, the fans cheering and being happy, and, you know, that's about it with that. I don't see, you know, any much more going on with that. I mean, is that sound like a fair prediction on that?
Yeah, that sounds like, sounds like a good one now. Definitely. I mean, we both agree for Finn.
Yeah, I just don't see, you know, I just don't really see, you know, a whole lot coming out of that match. The steel cage match, Braun Strowman versus Kevin Owens. Interesting to see what they've been doing with Strowman and Kevin Owens the last couple weeks on Raw. I love Kevin Owens. I feel Kevin Owens is underappreciated by a lot of people. I think for a guy his size, you know, he has a lot of energy, he has a lot of charisma, has a lot of character. Braun obviously is Braun. I don't really understood why at first they gave him the Money in the Bank briefcase, because he doesn't need it. But I have a theory to that. But before I get into that, I want to know what you think of Braun Strowman and Kevin Owens.
Okay. Braun, I think you just look at him and, you know, you put him in any match, you know, whether it's 50 men or, you know, just one other man. He just seems impossible to beat. You know, he just that power and the stance, and so I think he's definitely, for me, I think that Braun Strowman's going to be the winner in this match. For Kevin Owens, I think the only way that he is going to win is by fluke or some kind of outside help by Sami Zayn. If he's going to be someone's going to have to come in and help him. You know?
Definitely he's going to need some assistance.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to be able to do this one by himself. He definitely needs help if he is going to win against Strowman. But I still think that Strowman's going to win this match.
I believe Strowman is going to win. I mean, you can't put a guy that size in a cage and expect to survive. I mean, you can only hope to survive a match like that. You can't expect to survive a match like that. My feeling with Braun winning the Money in the Bank, at first, when he first won it, my first initial reaction was, why? It makes no sense. The guy doesn't need a briefcase to win a title. Historically, if you have a briefcase, you are doing a run-in when the champion is, you know, down and out, and, you know, the only other person who's done it where they've given you a heads up was John Cena, you know, where he let his opponent know, I'm cashing in this week at this time. So that's the whole concept of the briefcase. It's cool to see, you know, somebody run in when somebody's down and hurt. Braun don't need somebody to be down and hurt in order to win. So my first reaction to him winning that was, why? My next reaction to it, after thinking about it, pondering on it, was this. If you have Roman versus Braun one-on-one in a match, the brass at WWE is going to push Roman because he's Roman. But how do you convince the WWE Universe, who already does not back Roman Reigns, that he's beating up Braun Strowman single-handedly easy? He's not. So, again, my philosophy is at SummerSlam, it's going to be Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar. They're going to duke it out. They're going to have, a back and forth match. Braun is going to cash in on Roman. I think Roman will beat Lesnar at SummerSlam because they eventually have to get the belt off of Lesnar. And since they're pushing Roman, they're going to push for him to win. However, I think if you have Braun come down and just kind of pick up the scraps of Reigns, then that sets up that feud of Reigns and Braun. Gets Lesnar out of the picture and, just kind of sets it up. And then Reigns will always come back and say, well, you could only beat me when I was down and out. And, it draws it all out. So that was my feeling of why they gave him the belt. Right now, it seems like he's only, just buying time until SummerSlam. So I don't mind that he's in this, program with Kevin Owens right now. It sucks for Owens because I felt like when he was Universal Champion, he held that belt well. But I have Braun Strowman winning the steel cage match against Kevin Owens Sunday.
Yeah, I agree. Braun Strowman's going to be winning this match.
So most of these matches, going down looking at it. So we both agree that Braun Strowman's going to win. We both agree that Finn Balor's going to win. We both agreed that Shinsuke Nakamura was going to win. We both agreed that Roman Reigns was going to win. We both agreed that Seth Rollins was going to win. The Carmella Asuka, I have Carmella, and you had, Carmella. So we both had that. We both had AJ Styles. We both have Alexa Bliss. We both have the New Day. So the only one that we've disagreed on right now is which one was I just looking at here?
Pre-show New Day versus Sanity.
Versus Sanity. So that was the only one so far that we've disagreed on. So looking at the lineup here, let's see who we still have here. So we got two more tag team matches. And the first one is the Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt versus the B team of Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel for the Raw Tag Team Championships. What do you think is going to happen there?
Okay. After the Miz Taraj gimmick with Dallas and Axel, I thought that they would have. I would have hoped that they would have gotten a little bit more serious and not just be another comedy team. That was what I was hoping for, but I guess that's not really the case. But they have been on a little bit of a hot streak, and I can see them winning some titles. So I'm going to go with this one. I'm going to call the B team Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel.
This is going to be your upset win here?
That's who I'm going for.
Okay. I gotta go with Bray. I gotta go with Bray Wyatt and Matt Hardy. Just for the simple fact that the other are a comic team. I would love to see them being taken seriously, like you said. I don't see it happening. I just see, Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt winning, and I don't know where that leads, to the next challengers for those titles, but I just don't see the B team winning. And I just, I love what they've been doing lately on Raw, but I don't have the B team winning. I got Bray Wyatt, Matt Hardy, retaining the Raw Tag Team Champions. So.
Yeah, sometimes when I just look at some of the wrestlers, I do go for a little bit more of eye candy as well. So if I was to kind of line them up, anyone against Bray Wyatt, it's just the other team are definitely more likely to have more eye candy on them.
See, you're not a fan of not Bray Wyatt?
It's the look. It's the ripped up vest tops and the big, hairy kind of. I don't know. There's something about someone that looks like they just at the dinner and it's all still kind of all around them. He's
got that kind of the sloppy, dirty look, and
yeah, and I'm just oh no, I just, I would just want to take Bray Wyatt and just, hose him down a bit and trim him, give him a good trim,
Hey, there's some ladies out there that love that look, I mean,
I know. I'm sure there is.
I mean, but he could probably stand a good grooming. But with that said, I still feel like those guys are too powerful, or running on too good cylinders to lose to the B team. Again, I don't know if that means maybe now the Authors of Pain or somebody else in the Raw tag team division, gets a push and gets pulled up. But nope, just don't see them winning. But then that brings us to the final match on the card, which is the Bludgeon Brothers of Harper and Rowan versus Team Hell No, Daniel Bryan and Kane, for the SmackDown Live Tag Team Championships. First off, what do you think of that?
I don't know, it just seems like a goofy kind of match, It's the Bludgeon Brothers. And then you've got like Daniel Bryan and Kane, and I'm just like, there's only one team that are going to win for me in this. It's got to be Team Hell No,
Mm-hmm.
I think they're the ones that I've just got them winning. I just want them to win,
It would be a feel-good story, but my thing is that now that in real life Kane is mayor in Tennessee, where is he going to be able to hold the titles, and how long is he going to be able to do this while also being mayor, of a town? So my feelings is this a short little run? Is this a feel-good moment? How long of a storyline could this be? I'm going to throw a little twist in this because The Miz is not currently on the card. The Miz obviously has a feuding beef going on with Daniel Bryan for quite a while. They've had a war of words for a while. They've battled it out before Daniel Bryan got hurt. The Miz likes to try to take credit for when Daniel Bryan was out hurt for all those years. I can see The Miz getting involved somehow in this match. I don't know how it separates Kane from the situation, but I can definitely see where it's going to set up something long-term between Daniel Bryan and The Miz. And looking at, online reports, Daniel Bryan's contract seems to be running up the 1st of September. Now, I don't know if WWE plans on re-signing him to another contract. There's rumors of him going elsewhere. I don't know really what's going to go on with that. But if they're going to do something with The Miz and Daniel Bryan, they got to do it quickly. If indeed they don't have any intentions of re-signing Daniel Bryan. I feel like since Daniel Bryan's been back, it started off really well. That first night, you had him taking on AJ Styles on SmackDown Live after WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
And since then, I kind of feel like they haven't really done a whole lot with that. You had him in a feud with Big Cass, which ultimately I felt was more to help Big Cass get over and help Big Cass. That obviously did not work because Big Cass was later released. So that didn't do much. I feel like if you have the golden opportunity to have a talent of Daniel Bryan come back after being gone for so long, and you know how over he is with the fans, why wouldn't you try to cash in on as much stardom as you can right now with him? Like, what's the point of putting him in, like, gimmicky tag team matches? You know what I mean? Like, he should be in the WWE title picture. So with that said, I feel like they could be setting up something with him and The Miz. People were saying he want to have the blow off at WrestleMania. I feel like it might happen closer to SummerSlam, only because of how long Daniel Bryan's contract still is. But we'll see. But I don't have Team Hell No winning. I feel like it's...
You got the Bludgeon Brothers.
Yeah, I got the Bludgeon Brothers, and I don't really have them winning just, on their own. I feel like something is going to happen that's going to, change that. They are, they're promoting the whole Team Hell No right now. It's on all the marketing for the Extreme Rules pay-per-view. They're on the poster. They're on, all the promos. So they're really pushing this, but I just don't see it being a long run with them because, again, how much time can Kane commit to WWE while also actively being the mayor of, a town? It's just, I don't know. Unless it's a small town that can kind of operate and run on its own, I don't see it, him, being around WWE and traveling as much. So that's the whole lineup we have for Extreme Rules. But, before you get out of here though, I want to see what else you have in mind with, WWE. Like, what are some of the other things that you look forward to that's not really pertaining to, Extreme Rules? Like, is there anyone else on the rosters that you're interested in? Like, I'm currently watching now. We got Cien Almas right now wrestling. Feel like there's something big's going to happen with him soon. I don't really know what. It seems like they're trying to find something for him. But is there anybody that you have an eye on right now that you are interested in?
I've got a lot of eye candy on WWE.
After I asked that question, I was kind of thinking maybe I shouldn't have worded it that way.
Like, oh my God. Do you know, now you're just got me thinking about, lots of different fantasies, which is like, you're like, Tanya, no, that's not what I'm talking about.
Not that kind of podcast this week,
But I don't know. I'm not one of these that goes with the WWE stories. I have a few set people that I always think I always want them to win, and then when they don't win, I'm just like, no. But I'm excited to get back into watching it. I took a couple of weeks out because I had a trip to England. So I went back there. I had a trip to Chicago. That was for actually a fan convention called Exotica. So that was a lot of fun as well. So I think right now I want to catch up on a few of the storylines and, come in, Extreme Rules this weekend and hopefully some of those spoilers that you've just given me isn't going to ruin tonight.
Another spoiler another spoiler that I have to mention right now because it kind of puts a different twist now on our predictions. So the Carmella match in Asuka, James Ellsworth is now going to be suspended in a shark cage above the ring. So gonna have a fair match. So it does, it may not change anything, but he'll be suspended above the ring. So it'll be interesting to see what they are going to do with him there.
I actually kind of find that extremely funny.
That should be funny, seeing him above the ring, just kind of bouncing around in a ring, Yeah,
it's kind of like I'm gonna have to compare it. If it was a Triple X movie, a bit more like a cuckolding type of scene. Yeah.
See, I'm trying not to think along those. Yeah, I'm trying not to think along those lines. I'm trying to keep my mind centered on the wrestling this night. But yeah, I mean,
I'm so sorry. I'm sorry for bringing it.
I mean, if there was a parody movie, that would be the perfect scenario for it right there, It's like, who.
But I think it's I just think it's going to be fun anyway, just to see him, strapped up there, locked away. James, you can't do anything. You just got to watch Carmella. She's got to do her damn best to keep a grip on that belt. James is going to be wanting to get out of it. Is he going to get out of that cage? Is he going to? How is he going to manage it? Because that's what it is. Is he going to suddenly turn into Houdini?
Well, let me ask you, because you've directed movies. If you had to cast this movie, this scene, who would play the roles of James Ellsworth, Asuka, and Carmella? If you were doing a parody movie.
Oh my God, quick. Okay, Chad Diamond. Chad Diamond, I think, will be James Ellsworth.
Okay.
Let's see. After Akira, I would definitely have as
That's what I was thinking. I was like, you kind of have to go with that. Okay.
Yeah.
And who's playing Carmella?
Carmella, I don't know, maybe like Tasha Rain.
Okay.
I think she might be able to play Carmella. Who would you like to see play Carmella?
I don't know. I would love to see Carmella play Carmella. I mean, that's just me.
That would be
you
nice.
know?
That would be nice.
I would love to see that. The Chad
And
Diamond, I definitely could get.
If I was directing it, I would cast myself as either this. I think I would cast myself as the Stephanie McMahon role or the referee.
I was just thinking that. I was like, you got to get yourself in this match somehow. You got to get yourself in this scene. There's no way in hell you're watching this scene unfold behind the camera and going, you know what? I went dibs on this. I went part of this.
I'm in. If Carmella's in it, I'm like, no, I'm in. Go away.
Well, now you talked about these wrestling fantasies that you have. So let me ask you real quickly before you leave, like who's the characters, these wrestlers that you're like, I would love to be with them?
Do you know, God, you know what it's like, your fantasy kind of changes and, it's not always exactly the same fantasy that you've got going on. But I would just love to just be in a ring and then, like, it would be like I would choose different people to come in the ring with me each time, and it would have to be, to start off with, it would have to be like a load of guys and they all have to be the tall guys, I always wonder, if the tall height or the tall, big feet, and where I'm going with that one.
Yes.
We can't be explicit. I'll let you use your imagination. But I could. Oh,
so everyone besides Bray Wyatt.
No, it's not a big it's not a 50-man one.
Is it a 50-man Royal Rumble match? Every 90 seconds, another guy comes in the ring.
Oh my God! Can you just imagine it? I'd be like, can we just keep bringing in James Ellsworth so we can match for 50 men? Can you not double up? I might be able to take 50 James Ellsworth maybe, but you start bringing in, I don't know,
Braun Strowman.
Oh Jesus, Braun Strowman! I mean, I'd be broken in half if he was the first guy before we'd be able to move on. I get some Drew McIntyre, Jinder Mahal.
You got to keep Braun Strowman for the end, so this way that builds up the suspense. She's made it this far. She's lasted through 49 other guys. Who's number 50? The horn goes off. Out comes Braun Strowman.
Oh my God. I would. Do you know? I've got visions now. When you got a chicken and you have that little wishbone, and Mum always used to give us the wishbone, and you cracked it with your two little fingers. I've just got visions of me being that wishbone, Braun Strowman. I'm like, please no.
Well, you could mix it up. We could, substitute some of those guys for some of the, the WWE women superstars. You love Natalya, so,
Yeah, let's get Natalya in. I'll have a little bit of Charlotte, some Becky Lynch. Let's bring Naomi. Naomi's got some power in her legs. I think she'd be kind of... Oh, okay. I'll bring Carmella in just for you.
Yes, please. Just so I have something to watch, I mean... Yeah,
just so you. Alexa Bliss. Let's get some MILF action in. Let's get some Mickie James coming on in. And
Now, what about Nia? God. What about Nia? I mean,
I think she's powerful. I don't, whatever she did to me, I think I'd feel like I was, suffocate and kind of under, she did some face sitting on me.
Smothering
like,
scene?
No, Nia. Get off, I can't breathe.
Well, we definitely have to, start planning this out and, making this happen, I don't want any credit of it. I just want to see it when it's done.
I wonder if any of the WWE roster would really, really like to be in a movie. I mean, we've already had some making their own. Oh yeah. We have a few that follow me.
Mr. Ziggler, I would say, would be at the top of the list.
He follows me.
Yes.
I just trying to think, maybe we forgot about Big E and Xavier Woods. We've got to stick them in there as well, you know. Xavier's had a little bit of a go of his own kind of movie. So I you know,
well, I mean, you got, what about Paige? You know, Paige is, you know,
yeah.
her and Xavier
Yeah.
are familiar with the
cameras
world.
and action.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was some nice action, I have to say.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean, it took me a while to look at Paige, you know, differently every time, you know. I couldn't look at her for a while without playing that video back in my head.
Picturing.
But I mean, I could definitely see some of these guys. I mean, Ziggler, I feel, is not shy about partaking in any of that stuff. Actually, a funny story.
I think he'd be in.
Funny story. I've had Kendra Lust on the podcast, and she's into
Kendra.
wrestling. Kendra is awesome.
Yeah.
Had her into wrestling, so she was in Philly featuring. And I went and saw her, and I wore my Dolph Ziggler T-shirt there. So I ended up taking a picture with her, and she's topless, and I got my Dolph Ziggler shirt on, and we take a selfie and everything. So I'm at WrestleMania, and I catch up with Dolph Ziggler at WrestleMania, and I was like, it was at Access, and one of the handlers that was there, like volunteers that help at Access, they kind of just escort the people through the lines and everything. So, I told Dolph, I was like, yo, I gotta show you this picture. So I show him the picture. I was like, I had to represent and wear your shirt at the club. And, he thought it was the most hilarious thing ever that, here's Kendra, just, full blown titties out. And I'm sitting there with a Dolph Ziggler shirt on, and he's just like cracking up laughing. And the girl that was there. Yeah, the girl that was there, she was like a volunteer, and she's like, oh, well, what's going on? He's just like, no, you can't see that. That's grown folks' business. But I definitely made his
not
day.
Safe for work. Do you know, I can imagine Dolph, and he'd be like, can I just have another little look at that picture? Who doesn't want to look again at Kendra's lovely titties?
I know.
She's super cute and super sexy. I love Kendra.
And you know what the great thing about Kendra is that every time I see her, she always remembers me, always, remembers the last conversation that we had, which is just awesome. It just goes to show you how much she cares and loves the fans, that she remembers everything that we talked about. I'm like, I haven't seen you in over a year. I saw you at Exotica last year, yet you still remember the conversation we had, so she's, and as far as business goes, I mean, a businesswoman to, the 10th power here. Like, she's just, she's on her game. She's, one of the true legends, in such a short time that she's been in the business. So, but maybe get Kendra and you to do something with some kind of wrestling. You guys are both into wrestling, and
that would be hot.
I would,
but we'd be fighting for, like, who's the better businesswoman, That we could bring that into a story,
Yeah, you could.
She's got power, but I've got, I'm saying I've got more power,
No, she could be running Raw, you could be running SmackDown, and
no, I'll be running Raw.
You'll be running.
I'll be running Raw.
No pun intended there. Well, it was awesome talking to you tonight, and getting to hear some of your thoughts and insights on pro wrestling, especially WWE and Extreme Rules. We have to have you back on the podcast again to talk about the other world that you live in, non-wrestling. And is there any projects that you have going on right now that you want to let the fans know about before you leave?
I've always got a lot of stuff going on, but they should get on and check out all of my social media. Follow me Twitter, Instagram at Tanya Tate. I'm Real Tanya Tate on Facebook. They can text with me, sext with me, send me naughty pictures or whatever they want to send me on TanyaTate.com, because I have to say I do love texting and talking with the fans one-on-one. It's kind of nice, because sometimes the people talk to me about naughty stuff and sometimes they talk to me about WWE, honestly. So I do like that, so I encourage everyone to do that. I like to get on my Snapchat every day. You can follow me on Snapchat, and my handle is Tanya Tate XXX. So get on there because I do daily snaps, and I do have my VIPs. So the VIPs can see a lot more than the regular Snapchat, let's just say. So yeah, I do like to share my intimate stuff on my VIP Snapchat. You can get that. It's on fancentro.com/Tanya_Tate. Oh my God. What else? So much going on. I have my own radio show every Tuesday. I'm on a Vivid Radio, and it's on Sirius XM channel 415 every Tuesday, 1 p.m. West, 4 p.m. East. That is a bit more of dirty talk. So if you're listening and you think, I want to get to talk to Tanya, listen to her, I have a different topic every week, and it's always something that's kind of like a little bit naughty. So, yeah, and the guys and girls are normally very satisfied after they've spoken to me. So get on there, and yeah, and I'm excited. I want to be going back to my WWE live matches. Those that know me, follow me on my social media, know that I did have a baby. So I last went to pay-per-view in September of last year in LA. It's been so long. So I know they've got a pay-per-view coming up in October, I'm going to say, in LA. So hopefully I'm going to be going to that, and it will be my baby's very first WWE live event.
Exposed him early.
I know. Do you know, I'm going to get him some little baby head muffs, ear muffs, so we can't really hear it. But it's going to be exciting. I just, I want him to be one of those, just throw him up when the wrestlers come past. So yeah, so that's, I'm very excited to be able to go back, so bring it on, WWE, let's get you back in LA. So very excited. And yeah, so I'm this event, and it's going to get me back on target, get back watching. I'm still trying to do a little bit of catch up from when I've been away on my little holidays in June. So I'm excited, and yeah, it's going to be fun to find out, did we pick the winners of the match, or are we going to be shocked?
Yes, well, we will know Sunday on the WWE Network. We'll find out if we were right, and then maybe, if you want, you can always come back in and, talk, SummerSlam. I mean, it's totally up to you. You are always welcome on MMB Radio. Like I said, we're going to tune into your radio show on Vivid Radio, and hopefully we can have you back in on the podcast and like I said, talk about some other things other than pro wrestling, stuff that what you're doing in the adult world. So anytime you want to come back on, you just let me know.
Thank you. Definitely. And one last shout out, make sure that you go and check out my YouTube channel, Tanya Tate Tube, because on there I do a lot of reviewing, a lot of collectibles. You can see a lot of me Funko Pops on there, some of me WWE unboxing, and some of my little WWE weekly videos are on there as well. So that's my channel is Tanya Tate Tube. Go and subscribe. I'm so excited. Thank you so much for having me on. So I better go catch up with some Tuesday night SmackDown.
Yes, I mean, I didn't spoil everything for you, but definitely tune into that, and then enjoy Sunday. And then, like I said, we'll have to be back on the show real soon.
Thank you.
Not a problem.